What I want to show you here, Charlie, is a Young Bowmore. It's about 6-7 years old, and it's been filled into first fill ex-American bourbon barrel.
First time filled with Scotch?
First time with Scotch whisky, yes.
Right.
It's had a filling of bourbon, so this is now its first Scotch.
Well,
6-7 year old.
So unbung that.
If I open this, if you pour the new distillate, first time. There we are.
Oh, yeah. How old do you say this is?
This is about 6 or 7 year old, just coming out 7 year old, Charlie.
It's already getting that golden colour which one would associate with American oak.
Not as obviously, no, when that was filled with bourbon, you had that sort of distinctly treacle brown, that you had the sweetness, the vanilla. So what we're doing is we're effectively using the bourbon whiskey as our seasoning. So the bourbon's taking that harshness away from the cask, the tannins, and we're getting the more the oak flavours that we recognise within Scotch whisky.
Because it's not woody like bourbon.
No,
it's not over oaky.
So you can see it's very subtle. You can still get the smokiness there, but it is distinctly. Yeah, it's changing rapidly from the new spirit.
It's softened down. It's not as sweet as the new make spirit.
Into the aging process now. As each year goes by, you're getting this softer. And Bowmore, as it gets older, we lose the smokiness over a longer period of time.
Yeah,
so,
I would say it's not, even in 7 years, it's not quite as smoky as the new make spirit.
Yeah.
Now, what is happening? Start explaining to me what is happening in the cask.
Well, what's happening in the cask is, from the new distillate, each year that whisky is aging. If you remember back to Kentucky, in the rick warehouses, you had these extreme temperatures in terms of heat and cold. And the breathing of the cask is much more extreme there. In here, where we've got the warehouse temperatures, maybe at most between 5 and 10 degrees all year round, the breathing process is much more subtle. Hence, we're maturing our spirits for a minimum of maybe 8 years, up to as much as 50 years. Now, in some cases, just over that. So the process of aging, this breathing in and out of the cask, the interaction between the spirit, the wood, this chemistry there, which many people are still evaluating and still trying to understand, which is part of the mystique of Scotch whisky.
And when you say breathing, you mean that the spirit is going into the walls of the cask, there are extractives coming out of the walls of the cask, and there's also an interaction with the atmosphere.
The atmosphere itself, So temperature plays a huge part in the maturation of whisky. So that's a young bourbon. What I'd like to show you now is a young sherry, which is from a different type of wood and a different size of cask. So if you want to grab the samples, we'll take them over and we'll open up the sherry cask for you. Just head on.